What time is it? It's journey time. Time for another creative journey using Stampin' Up! Products. Hello, my name is Kathy Haynes, and today we're going to be making this cute, it's called a slide and lock card, and this is how you just pull it up and open it up. Isn't that cute? And then you just simply put your fingers back in it and slide it back in. Sometimes it takes a little bit of bending. Let me put it down. Stick that in and stick that in and slide it back down. There you go. Isn't that adorable? And we're going to be using the Peaceful Deer. It's a new bundle that comes with the punch, and it's in the new MIDI catalog that is good until the end of December. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this is the envelope I made for it using the Stamparatus, and I'm going to be doing a video on many techniques using the Stamparatus so that you can see how much this is going to save you, because I know me, and when I stamp and try to make things straight, just like this one was crooked just a little because I didn't have it lined up to begin with, this is going to save you so much time and aggravation. So look for my video shortly on Stamparatus techniques. Okay, one thing I want to say is when you're using clear punches, I don't know if you've run across this before, and I like how they have it now so that you know you have all your stamps. You just put them straight to the back of the stamp case. But so many times little pieces, like the curvy ones and stuff, they don't line up exactly. You could put them on the block and they're just a slightly off, and that's what I found was happening when I was trying to make this deer. Now I stamped this deer with Versamark on our gold foil sheets, and then I embossed it with this cute little stamp, and on it says "Oh what fun," I believe. But I found that one of the legs was not stamping really correct or punching good. So this is what I came up with. I stamped or punched out a white deer, and I put two-sided tape and taped it to the back of my acrylic block. Then I lined this up perfectly by placing it down, looking straight over it, and I moved this little leg to right where it should be, and that pretty much solved my problem, because look how easy it is to put the stamp on and have the leg just be off, and then you go through all that time to emboss it and do everything and it's off. So now I just look straight head on at it, and I make sure all the pieces line up. Then after I've stamped it, when I go to punch it out, it's perfect. And there is also this in the new mini catalog. Let me show you, and I have some, but I didn't bring it in here with me. But let me show you in the mini catalog. There is some beautiful 12 by 12 designer series paper in the new celebration, rather. So for free, and I should have it here to show you. I apologize, I left it in the other room. But let's look at this real quick. And with the celebration, for any $50 in merchandise you spend during August and September, you get to pick a free $50 product that they are offering. Here's some dazzling 6x6 specialty paper. And if you've bought the penguins out of the mini catalog, or the mini holiday catalog, then they have this beautiful and fun designer series paper to match it. So here is the one we're using, or that we're using the bundle, but this is the free paper that came with it, and that's 12 by 12, and there's 12 sheets, and these deer punch out perfectly, so you can have some really cute plaid deer in there. So we're using the plaid that's on the back side of the snowflakes, and I'll show you both sides, and we'll also be using the green Christmas tree. So this is free with a $50 purchase, and you can get to my website easily by first subscribing to my channel and then following the link in the description below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, and this is called a slide and lock card. So here's my pieces. Now everything you need is going to be listed in the description below. So the product, the dimensions, and everything. And here's my, I've already punched them out to save time on video. But again, I just stamped in Versamark, gold embossed on gold foil. So it's a metal on metal technique, and it's really quite cute. And then I always suggest that when you're doing something you're going to pop up, to glue a piece behind it. So let's go ahead and start here. So we're going to, I punched out just on white cardstock, and you could even use the 110-pound cardstock. And now I'm going to glue my little, I guess this is going to be Comet or Cupid because I'm not making him Rudolph. Alrighty. And then just line him up. And we'll put him off to dry. And that just makes it much sturdier. So we'll put him off to dry. And since we're working on him, let's go ahead and do his antlers. Now we have the, it's in the mini catalog, I believe, and it's not year-round, sadly, but the black high gloss paper. And what I do is I cut strips about this big, so I can just stick it in there and cut the ears, and I'm not wasting all the paper. Although a black enamel deer with gold horns, not the horns, what are they called? Antlers, is really stunning too. So let's see, they flew away. Let's get them. Now remember, there is a right antler and a left antler. And maybe I should put this on white so you can see it better. But we have a right rather, and a left. All right. So you need those two because the little humps go towards the center. Now the way I found that was best to stick these antlers on if you have low, my small motor is gone. So I simply lined it up about how I wanted them. They're pretty close together. And then I put Tombow glue on the back of the deer. Okay, not too much. And then using, this is a non-stick surface, so you would use your craft mat, which I have right here. So the craft mat's probably the best that you could use. So imagine I had it on there. And then I'm just going to press my deer right onto the antlers and lift, and see how easy that is. So now you have the antlers on, and you could adjust them easier, but if you have small motor control issues doing little pieces like that, I just found that was the easiest way to do it. So let's go ahead and put him aside, and I'm going to put him on my craft mat so he doesn't stick to anything. And let's get busy on the actual project. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take 2 strips. And again, I'm using some 1/8 measurements in this, so I'm not going to be telling you what the measurements are, but they will all be listed below. And then I have some gold foil sheets, and I found Tombow to be the best when you're working with foil. And you can see that you can use either side, but I really like the Christmas trees or the pine trees. And again, this is absolutely free designer series paper in the celebration. Okay, and Tombow also gives you time. So let me find my other piece, which I can't find right now, so I will work that out in just a minute. So there it is, underneath there. Okay, so I'm going to line this up, and I did just leave about 1/8 of an inch border. Okay, press. And then once I have it on there how I like it, I like to tip it over so I don't get glue on myself, and really press and get it in there firmly. Okay, slide it just a bit. And then let's do the other side. Now I think this is a great card for making your Christmas, you know, if you have your list is kind of big, this is really an easy card once you have everything cut out and the deer done to just assemble assembly line and do a larger number easily. Flip it over, press down. Okay, my 2 panels are done. Let's grab my gatefold part. And this is just like a gatefold on steroids. And the only difference is this center piece, I'll show you again later, can't completely line up. You need at least a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch difference. Okay, so let's line it right up. I love how that just pops. And then line this one right up. And you know, Christmas comes before you know it. So starting now is always a great idea. Okay. And visually, you want to make sure that they line up. Even if one side's higher than the other, it still looks better to visually have the square line up. So there you go. What do you think? Now we're going to do the inside. And the inside is simply using the Stamparatus. You could make a bunch of these. So I'm going to show you real quick just how I did that so you can get this set up. Let me grab my Stamparatus. And this is a mini Stamparatus session, meaning just one technique. But this is how I do it, because I know I'm going to make a lot of these. So the first thing I do is I put my cardstock. I like this. You can buy a pad of this paper where in the pages where the Stamparatus is. So I like to do that and put it where it's going to be, and then I mark it. It's going to be right here and right here. So I know that's the corner that I'm going to use. And you can use different colors for different markings, which I'll explain more in my Stamparatus. So I'm going to put this right here, and then I'm going to grab my stamps. And I know that I'm using one big, and he goes right about there. You make sure they're clean, or you have scrap paper when you first set this up. And I want my sentiment to be, no, I'm going to use this one. And make sure they're right side up, or there's 2 sides to every sheet of paper. So, alrighty. So I'm going to be using 2 colors, Cherry Cobbler and the new Evening Evergreen, which I love. So once I know that it's set up how I want it, put it right there. You'll see why I moved it over in just a second. Then I'm going to press, and I lied to you. Don't put this one on. Okay, so I'm just putting my tree right there. Okay, because I know I want it there. And the reason is we're using 2 different colors. So watch this. Now I'm going to put this one back up here, right where I want it. And I'm going to shut the other flap. Okay, so now I have 2 flaps. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to redo that red one. Okay, so forget I did that, you guys. I'm so sorry. First thing I'm going to do is my green tree. I wish I knew how to edit, but I don't. But this way you guys know we all make mistakes. So I'm inking up, I hope you can see that. I'm inking up my tree with the evergreen, and I'm going to stamp it. But here comes the trick for the second generation. So let me show you the card. Again, where is it at? If you see, I have another generation right down here. So what I did was I went up 1 and over 1, 2. And I'm going to make a gold mark, because this is a different one. And I hope I'm doing this one right. I might have went up further and over, but we'll see. Okay. And like I said, there's 2 sides to every paper. Now without inking it, I'm just going to shut it again. Yeah, that's perfect. And I'm going to push. Okay. And now look, I have my second generation tree perfectly. And so that's why I waited to put the red one on, because the red one should center up after I'm done with my tree. So now I'm going to center it up where I want it. Then I'm going to shut the flap. So you understand, I didn't want to center it with this tree because I wanted to be able to do both my trees on the same ink. Now I'm centering my red one, and I'm going to go in with Cherry Cobbler, which I love Cherry Cobbler. Ink it up, ink, 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 and shut it. And look at that. So now I'm able to redo this over and over again. I just take my next piece of paper and I start with the black dot, do my tree, move it up, do my second generation tree, and then do my sentiment. So isn't that clever? Alrighty, so let me put these guys away. Never store the second one like that. So I put it like that and we'll put it away. All right, so now we have our sentiment. Let's go ahead and put it, layer it on our red piece. Wishing you a wonderful year and friendships dear. So I think that's really cute. Now get back to our gatefold card, and then we're going to simply put the layered two pieces inside. Again, I am a Tombow-aholic. I love Tombow. I just think it's the best. Gives you wiggle room, and then when it's dry, it just stays. So there we go. We have our inside sediment and the outside. Now we're going to do the fun part, and we're going to make our mechanism. Okay, I know you're wondering where these dots came from, and that is just another exciting tip I'm going to share with you once we get this together. You're going to be so excited. I hope you are. I was way excited. So let me put my inks away. Now let's get busy. Now this mechanism, the slide and lock mechanism, takes a few more sheets of paper than you probably think, or pieces. So you need 2 black pieces, 2 white pieces, the gold foil sheet, and the designer series paper. So let's start by putting our designer series paper, and here's the back side. So if you'd rather have that, I just really like the solid plaid. And we're going to adhere. Woo, come on. Adhere right there. Now when you slide it, there's a little bit of glue. I'm going to show you, though, that stickiness that might end up. I'm going to show you how to handle that. Now I'm going to stick my gold and designer red piece onto my black piece. Alright. Okay, and I'm thinking about getting a different color down here. These are my favorite colors. But I'm wondering if it's just too busy for the video camera. So if you will leave suggestions, positive, that you like it, or that I should change it up, and what I should change it up to, I'm looking for people's ideas. Okay, now you're going to take these 2 pieces and you're going to fold them exactly in half and score them very well. Okay, then I'm going to put the folded edge, and you don't have to do that at this point, but so that I know I'm doing the right sides, I'm going to put the fold kissing together so it makes an X, lay them down, and I'm going to put glue on both pieces. So I'm going to put a square of glue here because you want the whole thing adhered. And then square of glue on here. And you can use, you know, tape runner, whatever you want, but get all the sides. And then I'm simply going to tip them over and line them up evenly on this black. And that's why I like the Tombow, because you can move it. Okay, so you have both the glue sides down, and very important, these two touching. Okay, and square. Alright, so it's square. The edges are even, and these are only cut about 1/8 of an inch difference. So there I have that, the wings. I've got wings, and that's what you need to have. Now you're going to take and fold down your wings and do the same thing again. And then you're going to lay your piece on top and line it up exactly with the bottom piece. So the black and the black are exact. And just hold it down a minute. Okay. Now lift it up. You don't want to be too rough because it's still drying, but you want to get these pieces apart so they don't stick. And so now, do you see I have my mechanism? Alright. Let's see, I'll show you this one. So those two half folded and they meet in the center. And that's what creates the mechanism. Now, isn't that fun? Now I'm going to grab my deer. Oh, my deer. I had to. Sorry. And I'm going to put two, and you know, you decide what you want, but I'm going to put 2 dimensionals. And I like him kind of, make sure it's the right direction. I like him kind of tilted like this. All right. So when I did that, I said, oh, it just needs something. And then I saw a video on Perler Beads. So how many of you have ever heard of Perler Beads? So let me show you. These are Perler Beads. And I use these with my kids, who are now, one of them's even a grandmother, but they used to love to take these Perler beads, and they would have a pegboard like this, and you would build your project. So here's some red and white ones. I'll just show you. So they would go in there, and then they would line them up, and they stand up, and they would build a project. And there were designs, or they would make their own. And so I had bought these for my grandkids, who didn't love them as much as my kids did back in the day. But I saw a video where you take the Perler beads and you put them on a baking sheet with a non-stick silicone mat. And I have just those thin baking sheets. And you just stand them up like this, and you put them about 1 inch apart, and I put about 100 of them. And look, you put them in the oven for 350 degrees for about 12 to 13 minutes, and you get these adorable enamel dots. Isn't that amazing? So I used black and white striped ones. They're right here. I use these, but you can use all the solid colors. You know, you can use, like I bought that bag of red and white. It's not as white as I wanted, but I'm trying to make red and white candy cane Perler beads, or enamel beads. But you figure that I got this whole set from, with a coupon at like Joann's or Hobby Lobby for like $6 or $7, and there's thousands of them. So there's all these beads I can make. Here's the red and white ones. So they look like little candies, you know, peppermint candies. I just had a blast with them. So I hope you think they're just as much of a blast as I thought they were. And so I made black and white stripe for this project. Now, one thing I did not mention is when you do these black ears, and I should have done this ahead of time. So when you're doing something and you punch it out, like this black with the white is pretty stark. So before I put it on here, but now I've already put it on there, I go around with a black marker. This is a blend. And everywhere it is white, you just have to be more careful now that it's on the packaging. I do the edge. So do you see the difference? See that white right there? I don't know if I'm in screen or not, but I just go around and get rid of that, and it just gives it a much more finished look. See what the difference? Everywhere there's white, just, you know, but that makes all the difference. So, sorry I missed that part. I was excited to get to the enamel dots, okay? All right, so let's take the enamel dots, and how I did it, so I knew where I wanted to put them. It's dry enough now, is I put it like this, put it like that, and slide it on. See, and see how some of the white shows? That's really important. So if it's not showing, that would be hard for this to get on. So I put it right about there where I would want it, and then I took Tombow and put 3 dots where I thought it would look the best. Right there, and I think right here. Okay. And then I like to use my pick-a tool, but I can't find it right now. It's the best for picking up even these enamel dots, but let's go ahead and use our fingers. My small motor control is just gone, so I should have had my pick-a tool here. Okay, kind of put it on top of the Tombow. And there you are, and then simply press down, move it right to where you want it, and there you go. That's our card. So what do you think? I think it's adorable, and I think it'll make a perfect Christmas card for the masses. So let me know what you think by liking and subscribing, and hit the notification bell below so that you won't miss a video. And also, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, and give me an idea on what you think my background should be. Should it be a solid color? Is this too busy? And then hop on over to journeytime.stampinup.net, and the link is in the description below, and so are links to most of the products. So I hope you enjoyed this creative journey. Thank you for taking the time to take this journey with me. You have a great day. Bye-bye now.